till 25. And then there's mid tier up on all the way down to like 40, and the low tier and low mid tier are just what's left. But anyway,
yeah, this match we have Aperture versus Ramses. Aperture recently, doing very well in America, beating Tweak and Anti, and showing, EU isn't free. I think that's, as we were saying just then.
He's showing his mostly his own potential as a player. He's been on the rise.
Yep, on the up and up.
And showing he can play with even the biggest of boys. But
and, interesting as well. In one of the recent meltdowns, I think it was the last meltdown before Albion, he actually beat Ixis, the top Sonic in the UK. From he beat him in winners bracket and in grand finals.
That's very impressive.
Very impressive. So
yeah, and about his opponent, Ramses, the Dutch Corrin main, about 7-8 on the Dutch PR. The best Corrin we have to offer next to Space. Shout out to Space if you're watching. Anyway, not an easy opponent. Ramses knows his stuff. Ramses is the kind of guy that knows a lot of Smash for data.
Sure. Actually, interesting fact for you. I watched Ramses recently, and he really made me want to play Corrin. Just watching how he spaces around with back air and all of his moves, and he gets those pins you wouldn't expect him to get. Really
Zero putting Corrin at like 35 in the...
Yeah, what is that? What's up?
Get out of here, dude.
Corrin's really good. Like,
Corrin is way better than that.
But one thing that people say, I'm gonna be, called out right here. But
all right.
I always say to people, I don't think Corrin's pin is broken.
You don't think it's broken?
No, right. I don't want to explain it. I don't think it's broken. I think, a lot of times, a lot of moves that you think are broken are like always safe. And you can get a punish off of doing it, Corrin's pin, if they shield, you kick to the other side of the stage, and although it's safe, you're not really putting yourself in necessarily a favorable position. It's either a neutral position or you're putting yourself so far.
You give up a bit of stage control, but...
Sure, when you do get the pin, it's obviously really good.
But looking at the match, Sonic had the lead up until this point.
I think Ramses trying to show me, show me that the pin isn't, is broken.
Actually broken.
But very even right here, 113 to 117. Aperture with the very slight lead, but and that air dodge.
Ooh,
Ramses calling it out, just waiting for the air dodge, getting the up air.
He felt pressure enough that he felt like he needed to press that L button and pay the price for it.
You see Aperture just shocking on bottom.
Ooh, good grab on the platform right there from Ramses, and the damage is continuing right here.
Ramses getting the dash attack into the reverse side beat.
Yeah, that was very good option coverage right there.
I feel like I'm being called out here by Ramses,
He heard you, man. He heard you.
It's like, by the way,
right
this
through
move
his
is
headphones.
And that up air by Aperture, really good. Just being up, getting the up air.
That's Sonic for you.
And Aperture not playing, as defensive as I think I've seen him play before.
Yeah, Aperture is known as one of the more campy, more defensive Sonics.
Yeah, using wave bounces and stuff with the spin dash to, kind of move in and out of his opponent's area. But Corrin could be one of the harder characters to do that against. Her big hitboxes, the risk of pin. And we're just seeing Aperture have to kind of approach a bit more, especially in this disadvantaged situation. Down just a small bit, but Corrin killing with a tipper S smash or tipper pin can kill really early.
Yeah, as early as 80%.
Yeah, and even with her insane counter.
Ooh, and that was a beautiful frame trap right there from Ramses.
Punishing the neutral getter. Nice.
All right. No pin. Yeah, there's the pin.
There's the pin. He's really trying to show me up here. Nice grab on the ledge.
Ooh.
Jeez. And this is scary for Aperture. He's got a lot of way to make up here. But Sonic's not, he's known for being able to just sit back and just be able to rack up some small damage. And I think if Aperture kind of possibly takes a more defensive approach, he might be able to, clutch this back from where he is now. Here we see, he's just moving around in shield. But Ramses just not phased by it at all.
In the meantime, look at the timer. Only slightly above 1 minute left. So
but they're not quite killing.
Yeah, that almost didn't matter with that fair off stage from Aperture, but he still has a lot of work to do.
We can see he's just kind of trying to push Ramses off stage here, you know, getting, you know, possibly a spring gimp or, you know, and is that up for a kill?
Yes! Transforming into a dragon and throwing him to the skies will close it out in favor of Ramses.
And, you know, we saw a lot of varying situations in that game, you know, at the start, coming from very even game state, both around 100%, to Ramses just kind of pulling forward, getting Aperture up to, you know, in the 90s, until Aperture kind of mounted a slight comeback, you know.
Yeah. Looking at the whole game, Aperture started off great. Then Ramses had the middle part on lockdown. But let's not forget that Aperture made the adjustments right back at him.
Definitely.
So let's see how that translates to game two right here. And Ramses thinking really hard about what he wants to ban versus Aperture.
One thing I always find so impressive about top players is Aperture just keeping his cool. He's just sitting there.
Yeah.
He looks really chill. You know, he's not worried about that at all.
That's 50% of the game, man.
Yeah. And what stage are we going to see here? We're going to see Dreamland. So he obviously didn't feel like the platforms were hurting him in any way.
No.
And
he wants a top platform for some, you know, spring ride shenanigans, but not quite yet a possibility. All right.
Nice little string there from Ramses. Not quite getting the second up air, but definitely. Nice wait by Aperture. Not quite getting any punish off of it, but he definitely waited for that air dodge, and it was a shame that he wasn't able to punish it.
Yeah, and look at Aperture playing the super evasive game.
And is that it?
Exactly what I was
really
talking
nice
about.
By Aperture.
Yeah, right on the top platform, taunting, you're too slow. So that might be the case for Ramses in the second game.
Yeah, it's just an Aperture with a healthy 40%, you know. Definitely not what we saw from last game. And
yeah, that's a complete turnaround.
And this is where Aperture can really, you know, sit back and just slowly rack up damage, you know. Sonic known for being one of the better characters at potentially timing out.
Yeah.
And
yeah, Corrin
really nice back airs from
Corrin has pretty poor mobility as a whole, so playing that keep-up game can be pretty difficult for her.
Sure.
All right, pinning not only Sonic, but also the platform.
Taking the stock.
Yeah.
Wow, Ramses really calling out Aperture there. No, I don't think anyone expected that. But, you know, Aperture still with a healthy lead, you know. He's not a big lead, but Sonic, you know, at any percent advantage can really kind of keep the game on at his speed, which
all right, and ever since, you know, Ramses lost that first stock, he's been on fire.
Sure. Yeah, racking up damage very quickly, you know. Taking actually only a 32% deficit here, which isn't by any means undoable for Corrin.
Yeah, let's not forget that he lost his stock at a very early percent. So
that's true, definitely.
Ramses might have actually done more damage than Aperture has, but right as I say that, Aperture is turning it around again.
Aperture just choosing to wait with the spin dashes here. Really playing a patient game, which I think is definitely the right idea in this situation. Getting the pin, Ramses getting the pin there.
But yeah, with more than half the time left, this won't go to a timeout.
No, definitely not. Unless we see some, you know, crazy situation where they both end up sitting back. But
yeah,
I don't think we're seeing that at all.
I don't think that'll be the case either. All right.
Oh, going for a questionable forward smash there. And not by Ramses, but
oh, boy!
Wow, and that up air taking.
Yeah, don't underestimate the power.
He just went straight for it there. Yeah. He was like, "I'm calling you out."
You know, her aerials might have gotten nerfed in the, you know, a year ago already.